Hey guys, this is Rocking3 bringing another live commentary, Forza 5, and this is going to be a parts and tune. This is the EVO 6. It is a very, very good car. I've taken it to multiple tracks and done very, very well. What's different about this EVO is that it's a lot faster from an acceleration standpoint. It is an all-wheel drive car, and we're going to give this a quick go. My friend Gabriel 2, I'm going to give him a head start here since I'm doing this in the first lap. This car has, I think it's 8.5 on the acceleration, so it's really, really high. So it's a lot like driving the Grand National that I put out there, but at the same time it handles better and it's all-wheel drive, so it's really easy. Has a real good launch, so for multiplayer it's a really strong car because you can jump out in front or get a good start anyway. It's like my friend here has that Alfa Romero Stradale. Let's see if we can run him down. This car is really an all-purpose car. It races on just about everything. It's not fast enough for the really long straightaway tracks, and it doesn't turn enough for the really tight technical tracks, but everything else it's pretty strong at. And I took it to about 5 different tracks, and I think I got into the top 100 on 4 of those 5 tracks. And I did some various ones. I even did a Yaz Marina, which I don't even usually race at all. And so I went really long there in the turn. That's alright. The other thing that's different about this EVO over the Subarus and the other ones you've seen lately is it uses a different engine combination. And we'll get to that when we get to the parts bin. You'll see that this is a little bit different. I couldn't duplicate this on the WRXs, so it seems to be specifically for this model. So we're gonna beat the Stradale, and let's do one more lap. Let's see if we can get in the closer to the 2-minute range. I don't usually run 2 laps, but let's give this a try. Now that I actually ran a lap on there, I kind of have a better idea what the braking lines are, although I missed that one again. This one you definitely rev up a lot more than those other EVOs, the one with the turbo engine. So this one actually helps a little bit more on the top speed tracks as well. It'll go a little bit faster because you can actually use the RPMs. You're not limited to that 5,500 RPM. It's pretty easy to drive, and like I said, it was all-wheel drive, so you can't get yourself in a whole lot of trouble. Our goal here is to hit the 2-minute mark. Not that I'm driving well enough for that, but we'll give it a try. Excuse me. See if we can do a better job in this turn. There we go, that was better. That was cut a lot better. That'll save us some time. I do love the acceleration of this particular setup. Brakes work pretty well, so it stops pretty fast. Alright, let's see if we can get this 2 minutes real quick. I think it's going to be close. Right on the mark. Oh, just a little bit slow. Alright, guys. See you in the parts bin. Okay, we ended up 452nd on that one, so that wasn't real good, but we didn't run but a couple of laps. So let's go through this tune-up. Now, this part is going to be a lot different than what you've been seeing. We're using the street powertrain engine swap. and that's different than the street one that we have here with the early torque window. With that though, we're able to add on this centrifugal supercharger, and that provided us with 83 horsepower only for 49 PI, and we left it all-wheel drive, so I won't go through that. And then I'll just go straight to this turbo here, and then that also allowed us to go to this race centrifugal supercharger as well. You see that we get 36 horsepower for 26 PI, so that's pretty good. And I was able to put a couple other parts on here as well, and I don't think it was in the early stages, I think it was in the later. But you can see we can get a lot of horsepower for the PI that we spend. So we have stock everything so far, and up to the race block, stock engine block, and we have the stock pistons, and I showed you that we had the race centrifugal supercharger, and we have the sport intercooler that provided 16 horsepower for 4 PI, and then we have the race oil and cooling, which gave us 8 horsepower for 3 PI. So we had a pretty good bump in that, and we have the stock flywheel. I'll have the race brakes, I'll have the race suspension, I'll have the race anti-roll bar. We have no chassis on there. Don't think that actually provided enough handling, which is why I didn't stay with that. But you could try to use that as well. And we have the race weight reduction. As you can see there, our acceleration is 8.5 and our launch is 9.4. So it does very, very well. We have the stock. We have the stock clutch, and we have the stock transmission that works really well. We have the sports drive line that was to add a PI, and we have the race differential. Tires, I wasn't able to go as high as we have been able to do with the other engine combination, but we do use the upgraded street tire compound, and it does enough since it's all-wheel drive. We have the stock front width, and we have the middle upgraded rear, and that's 265/25. And I did select a different wheel this time, and of course I can never remember which one I'm in. Oh, there we go. So you have the Asante AF 134. You can find an equivalent weight on that one if you prefer a different one. We have the full upgraded front rim size, and we have the full upgraded rear rim size as well. We're going to have the front arrow and the rear arrow, and I did put a hood on it, and it's this middle one. You can do any of those that you choose to, but I wanted to keep the paint job on there. So let's go straight into the tune. I have the tires at 29 and 28.5. Typically that's 29/29, but since the upgraded width in the back, I lowered that by 0.5 in the rear. Make sure we have the correct temperature. No adjustment to the gearing, and we have a -2.1 in the front for the camber and a -1.6 in the rear. And the toe, I have a 0.1 and a 0.1 positive in both front and rear. And we have the 6.0 caster. This one is pretty much in the middle again. We got 23.32 front anti-roll bars, and we have 0.61 in the rear. Didn't have to change that a whole lot. Same thing with the springs, 654.1 in the front, 605 in the rear. Some of that may have been stock from the beginning. I probably softened it up a little bit. Kept the ride height a little bit higher at 4.8 because it's a low riding car. Started at 10 with the rebound stiffness, enjoyed the adjustment down to 9 a little bit better, and the rear is 7.5. The bump stiffness in the front, we have 4.8, and in the rear we have 3.9. I was a little bit stiffer in the bump stiffness. I did find that some of the little bounces kind of made it bounce out a little bit, so that may need to be softened up, but that's a good place to start. A lot of aero, 100 in the front, 280 in the rear. And with the brake balance, I usually start about 53, but I was locking them up, so I've been working my way back down. And right now it's working pretty well at 50 and the pressure at 140. This is all standard right here, 50, 75, 75. This is actually, I increased to 80, and then I decreased it to get a little bit more front balance on that, because I was just losing the back end a little bit. So I added that to 75 with the horsepower. I think that's why I had to do that. So give this one a try. This one's a really fast car. You'll see that you out accelerate a lot of cars. It should work really, really well for you. This is not quite the handling EVO or WRX, but it does do a very good job. Thanks a lot for listening, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Later.